there's a park that's about 7 minutes away from where I live. When it's nice outside, my son, who's 2, will walk to it. We've done it so frequently, we've done it so often now that he knows the way. So as we walk from the house, I kind of let him get ahead of me, and let him kind of take off. And the path to the park has a couple of streets that you cross over, and then there's one kind of big intersection that you got to kind of go across. It's still in the neighborhood. It's not over like a major highway, but it's still 2 lanes, and it's still, you know, all the cars kind of go back and forth depending on the time of day. And when I tell you, uh, when I let him get about 2 feet in front of me, the level of vulnerability that I experienced is indescribable. Your heart is running around in this chaotic, monstrous world with no protection other than myself. You realize as a father that the only way that, my little boy can develop into the little boy he's supposed to be is he has to experience the world in a dangerous way, in a risky way, in a challenging way, but in a safe way. That safe way is me. I'm his shield. I'm his protector. That's what I'm supposed to do. So, as a father, there is no space for me to be unwell. There is no space for me to be unhealthy. There is no space for me to be not strong when I'm his protector, when I'm his shield. The park we go to is pretty small. And oftentimes it's not too busy unless it's after school, but he's of the age, being 2, that where it's not too busy the times we go, like which is in like the middle of the day. And when we sit there and he climbs on things and he's experiencing things and he's trying new challenges, and you have to sit back and kind of hold your breath, but you can't let him see that. But he has to do those things. He has to try things and fail. He has to try to hang on the monkey bars and fall off. He has to do these things. He has to do risky things. The safety part of it, because he has to do these things, and he has to do it in a safe way. The safety part is me making sure I can get to him. And I know I can get to him. No matter where he is or where he's at, I know that I physically will get to him. That's my responsibility. Me and my wife decided to have this little miracle. And you realize that it is not okay and it's not fair for me to stop his development because I don't want to take care of myself, or I don't do the things that are well within my control that I can take care of. So like that responsibility, it weighs heavy because the vulnerability that you experience, it's the only way that you can get close to your little boy. It's the only way you can get close to your kid is by allowing yourself to be absolutely decimated, absolutely destroyed by what happens to them, and there's the world, how it treats them. Because I need to be able to experience that. He needs to be able to experience it and know that, no matter what I do, I can safely navigate this world. And I know that dad has me and dad does have him, because if something happens, that 7-minute walk needs to turn into a 2-minute run or a 1-minute sprint to get back home. Because like I said, we walk to this park. We don't drive. Like it's just too close not to walk to. But with that being said, there is no space for me to have bad knees. There is no space for me to have a bad back. There is no space for me to be out of shape. It's not fair to him because if I allow myself, what I'm in control of, to be unhealthy, to not be well, to not be the best I can be at my capability, it slows down his development. It stops his development. It stops him to becoming the little boy, the little kid, the little man he's supposed to be. I need to be at my best as his father. I decided to be his father when I decided to have him with my wife. So it's my responsibility to be at my best and allow him to explore the world as it should be explored. Risky, challenging, things that could potentially hurt him, things that could potentially cause him harm. But it's also the other side that allows him to be triumphant. But he can only be triumphant if he tries things and if he fails. If he falls off things and has to go back and navigate and re-strategize, how do I do it again? And I need to allow him to do that in an environment to where he feels that no matter what happens, I got his back. And I do have his back. So when it comes down to this thing, for me, when it comes to being healthy, there is no space about motivation. That isn't any in my vocabulary. The reality is this: I have a little boy, cute little bundle of joy, and I love him dearly. And for him to be the best little boy that he can be, he has to experience the world in an unsafe, unrisky, in a safe manner. It has to be that way. That's the only way that he can be the best he can be. The only way that it's allowed for him to do that is I have to be my best, physically strong, mentally strong, emotionally strong, so that whatever happens, whatever consequence happens that has to happen to him, whatever damage that may come or may not come, I need to be at my best so I can get to him quickly if I need to. But it also needs to be in a space that he doesn't feel like he needs to worry about anything. He can explore this world safely and that he will be okay. In my world and in my way, in my opinion about that as a father is in your capabilities and what your abilities are as far as what you can control, these things are non-negotiable. Because again, us not being at our best, fathers not being at their best, slows the development of your children, or in my case, my little boy. And for me, that is non-negotiable.